Hi there. Welcome to live stream Yoga with Louise. Tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today we are playing circuit style, integrating the Swiss ball and some dumbbells into our workout for today. I've got 2 kilogram hand dumbbells with me today, but you can go lighter, you can go heavier, you can even opt to play freestyle, just trying to create resistance of your own if you don't have dumbbells at your disposal, or maybe you want to scrounge around in your pantry and round up maybe a bag or two of dried foodstuffs, beans, rice, something like that, that you could fashion into a little hand weight. As always, play where you're comfortable, modify when you need to, and feel comfortable to take a time out and rest at any time. You ready? Let's hit the mat. Before we get started, in terms of orientation, know where the front of your mat is and the back of your mat, because we're going to play with the front and the back position. You're going to reach for your Swiss ball. You're going to situate yourself at the front end of the mat, but then you're going to turn away from it so your back is to the front end of your mat. You're going to grab hold of the Swiss ball between your two hands, and you're actively going to press the energy between the two hands together. Square up through your feet. You can find a nice, comfortable parallel stance, either hip width distance apart or maybe just a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. You're going to press into the ball, extend the ball out in front of you. Take a big breath in, and on an exhale, you're going to twist off center to one side. Inhale to come back. Exhale to twist to the other side. You're going to keep playing with that side-to-side twisting motion, trying to keep all 10 toes looking to the front of your mat as you start to play with that rotational movement through the top portion of your body. Using a nice exhale as you twist, and then a nice inhale as you come back to center. Start to use a nice audible breath pattern. Keep rooting through your feet. Keep squeezing the energy between the inner thighs together, and play with that imaginary zip that you're pulling up from the pelvic floor towards your waistline. Last twist. Then you're going to relax the Swiss ball to the mat. You're going to soften your knees, and you're going to think of doing a modified plank walk. But instead of a walk, we're going to do more of a fall into the ball. You're going to give me soft knees, so almost think half chair sort of seat. You're going to place your fingertips or maybe your palms on the ball, depending on how tall you are. And you're going to start rolling the ball away from you, falling onto your elbows into an elbow plank, and then breathe back to your start position. You can keep those knees nice and soft, and you're going to shoot for at least 10 falls into your ball, coming into a nice strong elbow plank, pushing off your elbows and your forearms. Body line nice and parallel to the mat. Legs are working, core is working. Let's do one more, and then we'll change our orientation on the mat. After your last fall into plank, you're going to walk your way back. You're going to use the ball as a seat. You're going to swivel, and you're going to take a little seat into your ball, setting yourself up towards the back end of the mat so that you've got a little bit of room to play in front of you. You're going to sit up nice and tall. Feet are squared, about hip width distance apart. You've got a nice heavy seat into the ball, and you're sitting up nice and tall with your shoulders stacked over your hips. Begin with your hands palms down on your knees and start to trace a big hula circle clockwise. Feeling that nice little contraction as you come back in. Shoulders are nice and softly dropping away from your ears. Hands are relaxed into the top of your thighs. You're going to give yourself at least 10 slow hula circles in a clockwise pattern. Feet stay firmly grounded into the mat, and you keep gently thinking of squeezing the energy between the two thighs together as if you had a big, soft basketball between the thighs. Then change it up and move in the opposite direction, starting to trace your little circular pattern in the opposite direction. Come to stillness along the midline. Hands are still connected, palm down to your thighs. We're going to play with a little pelvic tilt. You're going to begin in neutral spine, allowing for that S-curve in the spine. You're going to tilt your pelvis to the 12 o'clock position. Pause here, find that little contraction. Come back to neutral. Let's do 9 more. Keep your feet firmly grounded into the mat. Keep those inner thighs switched on. And just keep your chin line in a nice neutral position to the mat. Let's do 4, 3, 2, last one. All right, we're going to bring it into a modified C curve from here, and you might need to walk the feet out after your first one. So just see if you need to readjust your legs. All right, starting in the same setup in neutral spine, you're going to start tilting your pelvis to the 12 o'clock position. You're going to actively draw your knees towards your chest as you come onto the tips of your toes, hollowing out your belly, rounding out your back, and then find your way back to neutral and plant your feet into the mat. Let's try that again. So think tilt, begin to draw your knees towards your nose, begin to lift your heels off the floor, making a nice hollow frame. Ground back to the mat. 8 more to go. One more. From here, we're going to play with a little fall back, and already I can see I don't have enough room in front of me, so I'm going to give myself more runway to play with. I'm going to walk the feet out slightly, so further away from me. Ball is starting to feel like it's beginning to wrap into my lower back. I'm going to think of that tilt, and I'm going to fall back onto the ball so that my shoulders are tapping the mat, and I'm reaching in front, making a nice hollow frame with my body. Inhale to float back. So think of scooping, floating the arms out in front, falling back, shoulder blades tapping the mat, hollowing out your belly, rounding out your back. Come back to your start position. Let's do 8 more. Last one. You're going to end in that hollow hold. You're going to tuck both hands behind your head in a surrender-like position. You're going to fall back onto the shoulders, and you're going to try to give me a tabletop hold. So your feet and your knees are hip-width distance apart, or 10 toes looking to the front of the mat. And you're thinking of taking your belly up to the sky, using your glutes, your quads, your hamstrings to almost float your bottom off the ball, holding steady. So it feels like you're balancing on the soles of both feet and your shoulder blades, and maybe the very top portion just below the shoulder blades of the ribs. Lead your way back into a seated position. As you come back to the seat, you're going to fold forward. You're going to reach for your dumbbells, You're going to keep your chest quite heavy to the tops of your thighs. So it feels like your belly is now sandwiched to the top of your thighs. You're going to tap the two elbows and the two dumbbells in front of you with soft elbows. We're going to do a little bug fly. So you're going to think of a bug opening up its wings, maybe a Christmas beetle, and then tap the two dumbbells together. Let's do 10 of those. So think of maybe squeezing the two shoulder blades together as you open up your wings, and then relax the shoulder blades as you tap the two dumbbells together in front. Let's do 2 more, and then we'll find our way from here into a nice high seat on the ball. You can relax the dumbbells, maybe to the tops of your thighs. Find your high seat on the ball first, and then open up into a cactus-like frame. So think goddess. You're going to keep the cactus frame nice and wide, and you're going to squeeze the two shoulder blades together behind your back and come back. So think of cracking a walnut between your two shoulder blades and then come back. You're just holding the dumbbells in your hands for extra loading into the movement, and you're trying to keep those elbows at about shoulder height. Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Keeping the elbows at shoulder height, you're going to tap the two the two dumbbells together in front and open back out. Tap the two dumbbells together. So if you do have dumbbells, you won't be able to bring the two elbows flush along the midline, but you're bringing them as close as you can. Let's do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. You're going to end in the squeeze position, and you're going to lift the dumbbells up to the sky and back. So starting with your elbows at about shoulder height, you're just going to lift up towards the sky and come back, keeping a soft bend in the elbows. Let's do 7, 6. Keep the elbows squeezing into center even if they aren't touching. 4, 3, 2, last one. You're going to cross, maybe give yourself a little bit of dumbbell to play with. So hold the dumbbell behind the one head in both hands, and then cross your excess dumbbell one over the other. We're going to do a little tricep movement here. So you're going to start with the arms extended overhead. You're going to bend at the elbows, thinking of dropping the heads of your elbows behind your neckline, and then back to start. Let's do 10 of those. The whole time you're maintaining your nice high seat. Feet are squared up. Knees are squeezing into your imaginary ball between the two thighs. We're going to do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Undo your dumbbells, relax them to the mat, place them back where you had them so that they're ready for the next round. You're going to fold forward, so you're thinking belly to the tops of your thighs. You're going to relax your hands to the mat, and then we're going to work a modified hamstring stretch. So you're going to think of pushing your bum back towards the back edge of the mat, rolling onto your heels, toes to the sky, and then back to your start position. You're going to do that 10 times. So you can think of this as a double hamstring stretch. If you want to think of it in yoga terms, you can think of it as a double Ardha Hanumanasana, so a double monkey god. You're going to end in the pushback position, and you're going to hold for a soft count of 10, 8, 6. Try to keep your legs as extended as you can and open up that tight little knot behind the knees. Then relax back into a bent leg position, And step your feet wide into a plie-like line. So think lizard. Your feet are softly splayed out at 45 and the hands are relaxed on the top of your thighs. You're going to rock your body weight side to side, so left to right. Maybe starting to slightly straighten one leg, the leg that you're leaning away from, but it's not coming into full extension. And then come to stillness along the midline. You're pushing down actively with your hands on the thighs, but you're almost pushing down and up, so the knees are not falling into center. And you're going to play with a little teeny tiny pelvic tilt here, tilting to the 12 o'clock position and back to neutral. Tilting to 12 and back to neutral. 2 more, then we're going to run through that whole circuit again with more fluidity. You know where you're going to now. So bring the 2 feet together, stand up nice and tall, turn away from the front end of your mat, grasping the ball, find your parallel stance, exhale to twist, inhale to come back. You're going to give me that alternating standing twist, keeping that beautiful sense of tall spine, tall body line, trying to keep the lower half of your body, so think belly button down, facing the back end of your mat, and the top portion of your body is rotating. So bottom half is still, top portion is twisting with your breath. Let's do one more twist to each side, then we'll find those plank, elbow plank falls into the ball. Relax your ball down to the mat. Think soft half chair. Place your fingertips on the ball. Start to roll the ball away from you. Fall onto the elbows, pausing in your elbow plank, and then roll back to start. Keep soft, nice knees so that you're feeling that work into the glutes. Let's do 10 falls into the ball. Make sure you're giving me nice active forearms. You're not collapsing your chest into the ball. So as you lean into it, you push off the elbows and the forearms and you give me strong core, yeah? All right, so I've lost count. I'm going to call that 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. We're going to change our orientation from here and we're going to find our way into a seat. Maybe position yourself towards the back end of the mat so that you've got enough room to play. Find your seat. Relax your hands to the top of your thighs and begin to trace your slow hula circles clockwise. Inhaling for half, exhaling for half. Keep your feet grounded, keep your inner thighs switched on. 10 circles in one direction, and then change it up and begin to trace your circles in the opposite direction. Using your active breath. All right, last one. Come to stillness along the midline and just give me 10 pelvic tilts. So you're tilting, scooping towards the 12 o'clock position and back to neutral. Keep your feet grounded. Keep your inner thighs switched on. Keep your hands relaxed, palms down to the top of your thighs. Starting to move with more fluidity, maybe increasing the pace just a little bit because you know where you're going to now. All right, we're going to use that same pelvic tilt and we're going to add a heel lift. So you're going to think knees drawing in towards your nose, hollowing out your belly, rounding out your back. So nice C-curve frame. And then back to start. Let's do 9 more. Last one. We're going to come into a hollow hold. You might need to walk the feet out slightly. So ball just beginning to wrap into your lower back. You're going to root through your feet. You're going to squeeze the energy between the thighs together. You're going to give me a C curve, and you're going to fall back onto your mid back, so just below the shoulders. Hold that hollow frame, and then peel back. All right, let's do 10 of those. 2 more to go, then we're going to bring ourselves into that surrendered tabletop hold. So you are going to end in the fall back, your hollow hold, maybe walking your feet out slightly, tucking your hands behind your back. You're going to think bum coming off the mat, so you're going to pike your lower pelvis up towards the sky. You're going to push off your shoulder blades, and you're going to hold that tabletop, making your head as heavy as you can into the back of your hands while you keep your elbows nice and wide. You're going to hold for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. Peel back up into a seated frame. You're going to fold forward. So you're going to think chest to the top of your thighs. You're going to reach for your dumbbells, and you're going to set up your little bug fly. So belly to thighs, elbows soft, dumbbells tapped in front of you. Allow your Christmas beetle to open its wings and tap back out. Find your way from here into a nice high seat. Take a moment to reposition yourself on the ball if you need to, and open up into a cactus frame. Think of that walnut between your 2 shoulder blades. Crack the walnut and come back. So it's a little squeeze into the shoulder blades and back to neutral. It's not a big movement. The dumbbells are just adding some additional loading. Let's do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Keep the cactus frame. Tap the 2 dumbbells together in front and open back out. Tap to open. Trying to keep those elbows at about shoulder height, yeah? All right, so let's do 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. End in a tap position. Give me a little lift to the sky and back. Lift to the sky and back. So come down with resistance through your elbows. Let's do 7, 6, 5. Maintain your high seat. Keep your feet active. Keep your inner thighs switched on. 3, 2. Last one. Take a moment to reposition your hands on the dumbbells. So position your hands around, just wrapping underneath the head of the dumbbell on both sides. This time, cross the opposite dumbbell in front. You're going to float the dumbbells overhead. You're going to bend at the elbows, making the dumbbells heavy towards the ball, and then come back to your start position. One more. Undo your little bind, place the dumbbells on the floor, hands on the floor in the forward fold. We're going to do that double hamstring stretch. So you're going to push your bum back towards the back of the mat, straightening up the legs, thinking heels pushing off the mat, toes looking up to the sky. And you're going to give yourself anywhere between 5 to 10 pushbacks. Keeping your lower belly quite close to the tops of your thighs, pushing off spider fingertips or even flat hands on the mat. You're going to end in the pushback position, and you're going to hold. 10, 8, keep belly to spine, 5, 3, ground your feet, step wide into a plie squat line position. Place your hands on the top of your thighs, but you're not pushing, you're pushing down and out, yeah? So you're not allowing those knees to come in. And you're going to start to rock your body weight side to side. Maybe this time you're giving me more of a straighter leg line on the line that you push, on the side that you're pushing away from. Make sure that you're not pushing on the knee joint, so maybe just find a grasp position just behind the knee joint. You don't want to put any pressure on the knee. And come to stillness along the midline, still pushing down and out. You're going to give me little pelvic tilts for 10. Keeping belly to spine the whole time. And it feels almost like the weight is just hanging down between the two shoulder blades, yeah? All right, we've got time for one more run through. Find your way back to your standing position at the top end of the mat. Square up through your feet. Exhale to twist. Inhale to come back. Keeping the lower half of your body stationary and rotating through the top portion using an active breath pattern, and you're squeezing actively into the ball. So even though the arms aren't fully extended and locked out, you've still got soft elbows, they're still active because you're pressing into the ball. So you can feel the arms are working, you can feel the shoulders are working, you can feel the upper back is working. All right, let's do one more twist to each side, and then we'll come into those plank elbow falls. So place the ball down, think half seat, use those glutes. All right, you're going to roll the ball forward, falling onto the elbows, and then come back to start. You're going to give me 10 falls. Every time coming into a half seat, half chair squat, so you're going to keep those glutes active. Maybe you're holding your last elbow plank for a slow count of 10, 8, 6, 4, keeping the ball as still as you can. Then peel back up, find your way into a seat on the ball with enough runway in front. Place your hands on the tops of your thighs and begin your hula circles. Inhaling for half, exhaling for half. Keep your feet grounded, keep your inner thighs switched on. Then change direction and give me 10 hulas in the opposite direction. Last one. Come to stillness along the midline. Pelvic tilts to the 12 o'clock position and back. After your last tilt, we're going to do that active knee draw. So same tilt, but start to pull both knees actively towards your nose as you float the heels off. Think of hollowing out your belly, rounding out your back. So more C curve, and then back to neutral. Let's do 9 more. Really look for that contraction in your core. So if you need a visual cue, think of pulling up a zip from your pubic bone towards your belly button, and at the same time you're drawing a zip down from your breastbone towards your belly button line. So think of that contraction drawing your knees up and hollowing out your back. One more. Then we're going to walk those feet out so the ball just begins to wrap into your lower back. We're coming into those hollow hold full back. So you're going to think of hollowing out your belly, rounding out your back. You're giving me a nice C-curve frame. Stopping just before the ball touches your shoulder. So think upper back and then back to start. Just reaching the arms in front so that you can feel each little briquette of your six-pack. Keep your feet grounded. Keep your inner thighs switched on. They're working the whole time to stabilize you, baby. Let's do 2 more, and then we'll hold the last hollow hold, and we'll morph it into a surrender tabletop. So maybe start to slide, walk, or creep the feet away from you. Tuck both hands behind your head. So it feels like you're pushing off your 2 shoulder blades and the feet, and your bum has disconnected from the ball, and you're holding a nice tabletop line. So you're working legs, you're working core, you're working arms, because you're resting the weight of your head nice and heavy in your hands. Hold, hold. All right, lead your way back into a seated position and come straight into a forward fold. So you're thinking chest nice and close to the tops of your thighs. You're reaching for your dumbbells. You're going to set up your little Christmas beetle fly, floating the 2 shoulder blades together and then tapping back out. Keep your feet squared. Keep those inner thighs working. Keep belly to thigh. Last one, we're going to find our way into a high cactus seat. You're going to think of that walnut between the 2 shoulder blades. Crack the walnut and come back, trying to keep those elbows at about armpit height. Feet are active, inner thighs are working, nice tall trunk. Last 2, and then we'll bring it to elbow or dumbbell taps in front of the chest and back to that cactus frame. Trying not to drop the elbows as the arms begin to fatigue. So you're keeping your feet active, you're keeping your inner thighs switched on, you're giving me a nice tall trunk, spine beautifully tall, arms working hard. Let's do 2 more, and then we'll end in the squeeze position, and we'll lift to the sky and back. Small little lift, and bring your elbows back. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Last 2. You're going to change your hand position on the dumbbell, grasping just behind the one head. You're going to cross the one dumbbell over the other. Float your dumbbells overhead, bend at the elbow, so you're working the triceps, and back to start. The last one, you're going to unbind your dumbbells. You're going to place them on the floor, out of the way. You're going to place your fingertips on the mat, and we're going to do those bump and push backs. You can readjust yourself on the ball, and you're going to give yourself at least 10 dynamic pushbacks, trying to give me the straightest leg line that you can. So open up that tight kink behind the knee, pushing off the heels, toes looking up to the sky, and then back to start. Keep your belly as close to the top of your thighs as you can. We're going to end in the pushback position, and we're going to hold for 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. Find your way from here into a modified seated plie line. So squat plie. Feet are softly splayed out. You're pressing down and out with your hands, and you're going to begin to rock the weight side to side, maybe extending the leg that you're leaning away from. And don't rush it. Get a nice working rhythm going. Let's end and hold the stretch on one side. So you're pushing down and out on the bent side. And on the extended side, you're pressing down on the top of your thighs, but you're not pushing on the knee joint, yeah? Keep soft elbows, so don't lock them out. Then let's take the stretch to the other side. Try to have all 10 toes, so the toes on both feet firmly grounded. Don't allow those toes to peel up off the floor. Come back to the middle. You're almost hanging between the two shoulder blades, and you're going to give me little pelvic tilts here. You're still pressing down and out with your hands. Your feet are firmly grounded, but they're softly splayed out at 45. End in a tilt and hold for 10, 8, 6. Nice little bit of contraction going in the core. 4, 3, 2. All right, release back to neutral, and we're going to change our orientation, coming into a seated wide straddle as gracefully as you can with the ball in front of you. If your dumbbells are in the way, just move them out the way. Find your way onto the bum and open up your legs into a V. That V can be as narrow or as wide as you're comfortable with. But make sure that you're not giving me Quasimodo and hanging off your tailbone. So take a moment to lift your bum flesh off the mat, almost tilting your pelvis forward to the 6 o'clock position, so it feels like you've got a little lean forward. Then give me active feet. So all 10 toes looking to the sky, no pop toes. Active feet, active toes, active inner thighs. So you're going to place your hands palms down on the ball, and you're going to think of that plank fall that we did from a standing position. You're going to roll the ball away from you, leaning into it in your forward fold, pressing actively off the whole palm, not just the heel of your hand and not just the fingers, the whole hand pressing down into the ball, and then come back to your start position, soft elbows. You're going to give me 10 forward folds, a fold and a press before you come back. So make sure those hands are active. As you come to the end of your fold, you start to press through the whole hand. So you're feeling your arms stretching, but working. You're feeling your feet and your legs working the stretch. And the whole time you're keeping belly to spine. So you're not allowing for your soft muffin top tummy to hang on the mat. You're keeping that belly button pulled into spine. You're going to end in the forward fold position, and you're going to hold, actively pressing into the ball. Feet are active. You're going to try to lengthen as much as you can from the lower back towards the nape of your neck, and try not to drop your head through the arm line. So try to have your arms framing your ears on either side. So it looks like you're just looking off just in front of the ball line. And you're going to hold for 10, keeping belly to spine. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then peel up into a nice high seat, maybe bringing the ball quite close to the top of your chest, and give me a modified seated child by just leaning into the ball, maybe dropping onto your right ear, pausing here for a moment, releasing into the neck. Arms are soft and passively just draped, one palm on top of the other. Then bring your chin to the ball, take a big breath in, stretch the little turkey waddle underneath your chin, and then exhale to drop onto your left ear and just pause here, hugging the ball. The ball is your friend. Inhale to come back to center, and then maybe end off your practice for today by just bending the knees, maybe giving me a soft squeeze into the ball, pressing your hands, palms down into the ball, and maybe tapping your nose or your chin to the ball to end off your practice for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed today's class. Till next time, keep it light.